If I asked you what the value of £1 was, you might think I was asking you a trick question. It's obvious what the value of £1 is. It's a pound. But what if I told you that this is not a set answer, and the answer will change depending on who you ask? This might sound like it's getting a bit strange, but let me explain. In this video, I want to change your entire concept around money and how you think about it. Because let me tell you, the pound and the dollar and every other currency is not created equally, and who you are changes the value of it. So let's get into that, because that is quite a deep and sweeping statement to make. What do I mean when I say who you are changes the value of what money is to you? What I mean by that is, different people have different skills, and this is going to all make sense when I tie it together. If I have not many skills, my job is going to be probably minimum wage or quite low paid. If I earn £10 an hour, I earn £10 an hour. And you might think that I still earn only £10, but here's the thing, here's where things get a lot more difficult. I have to work a lot of time to make £100, £1,000, £10,000 if I earn only £10 an hour. Now imagine if I was to earn £1,000 an hour. Money does not have the same value to me at all. And I think now this makes sense. It depends on how much you earn and how you earn it, because the pound isn't created equally, and you need to make it work for you if you want to get rich. And even if you don't necessarily want to get rich, it's important to make your time and money stretch as long as possible, because they are both very valuable assets. So let's now get into the topic of this video in a bit more detail. I gave you the quick description of what we're going to be talking about, and now let's expand upon it. So as I just said, how hard you work and how much money you make will depend on what money is worth to you. You might see somebody driving around in a Lamborghini as I did today, and most people sit there and look thinking, how did this person afford this car? Because it makes no sense. If a car that's just driven past costs £1 million and somebody earns £10 an hour, £20 an hour, it's going to take them almost an entire lifetime, especially with other expenses added in, to afford that vehicle, making it effectively out of reach. And somebody else can just go buy it for fairly cheap related to them because they wouldn't have spent that much money on the car. So how do we leverage the power of money to make it worth less to us so that we can spend more of it? Well, that's actually a very interesting and intricate question. We first must acknowledge the value of our time. And the value of our time can depend on a few things. It depends on how we use our time and how we sell our time, and how we invest our time. And I'll explain that one too. So right now I am a student at university and I'm off for summer until the next month. I've had 6 months off, and in that time I've had a lot of opportunities. I could have gotten a job, worked in a shop, or done something like that. But what I actually did is I started a few online businesses. Now the way I invested my time changed what money meant to me in this short period. It means that now £1,000 means less than it otherwise would have, because I make that money more frequently. And that's because I invested my time correctly. Now the topic of investing time is quite a difficult one, but what you must understand is that the concept of selling your time is not the best idea to make money, because you are limited to the amount of money that you can make based on the amount of time that you can sell. Imagine if I made £10 an hour, and I wanted to make £1,000 a day. I'd have to work more than 24 hours a day, meaning it's impossible. So I need to think of another revenue source, another income stream that I can utilise that is not related to how many hours I work. And this is where we get into the interesting world of the internet. If you ask me, the internet is a perfect place to leverage our skills to earn more money. Think about it. There's going to be something that you are either good at or could get good at. If that's the case, can you make more money that way than you could with your job? Probably you could. Imagine if you were to make YouTube videos like this, and you were to make videos every single day and get a couple of thousand views a day. Well, that could be enough to make £1,000, £2,000 a month. Imagine if you were to start an e-commerce shop on eBay, Amazon or Etsy, something which I have done myself. I know for a fact, because I've done it, that is something that can bring you in thousands, if not tens of thousands worth of revenue each and every single month. And this is where the value of money starts to change, because what you have to do to get money becomes less and less and becomes less intensive. After all, this is why valuable things are valuable, because not everybody can have them. But think about it, if you could have more money, if you could have these opportunities, and if you could capitalize upon it, everything would suddenly become worth a lot less to you, and you'd be able to maximize your time a lot more. Instead of having to stand about in a shop, doing not much and earning minimum wage, you could spend a couple of hours a day working on your business, on top of the shop initially, but after the business starts to roll and take off, you could be making more in a day than you were in a week. As you guys will know from watching the channel, there's been months in the past year where I've made thousands and thousands of pounds a week just selling stuff on the internet, on eBay. And that's something that anybody realistically can do. So the thing is, if you learn a skill, if you can leverage that skill, you can put yourself in a great position of advantage, and you can put yourself in a great place to take winnings in the future. Whilst this might seem like a weird video, the intention of this video is to acknowledge that money is not something which you should necessarily work for, and that's a concept which most people will probably never wrap their heads around. But if you can wrap your head around this, you'll understand that the amount of work you do is not related to the amount of money you make. This break in mindset will allow you to break out of the cycle. Like, if you can truly understand this, there's no reason why you cannot make a start on these business ideas. And there's no reason why you will not quickly see results if you work to the appropriate degree. And then you just need to get the ball rolling, get the fire started. And before long, you'll have a big ball, you'll have a massive fire. Because you've been working on it. And because you use your time correctly, because you invested your time correctly, you'll be reaping the rewards for years. Whilst other people are still working the same boring jobs, you will have a lot more money coming in, and you'll probably be working less. And most people won't understand this concept, but when they watch a channel like this, they will say that the ideas make sense. If you understand that the ideas of working on stuff that matters, working on stuff which benefits you rather than a company, make sense, why are you not doing it? Even if you work full time, there's no reason why an hour or 2 hours a day you couldn't start researching into starting an internet business. It doesn't really matter what it is, you just need to make sure it's sustainable, profitable, and something which you can understand and could get along with. But once you get into this journey, you'll quickly understand that the relationship that you learnt between money and time has always been wrong. And this is not how millionaires and billionaires work. Think about it. There's not enough time in a day for someone to make £100,000 a day. It doesn't make sense doing it the traditional way. So clearly there is a different way. Because there is people driving around in Ferraris and Lamborghinis. There is people living in mansions. So how did they get there? Most people aren't CEOs. Most people aren't in high-paying office jobs. A lot of the people who got there did it through correct investments, whether that be time investments, money investments, or just utilising both together. But please understand the point that I'm making here. Money is not worth the same to everybody. To some people, £1,000 is nothing, because they earn more than that in a week. To some people, £100,000 is nothing, because they earn more than that in a month. Why are you not one of these people? And do you think it's impossible that you could become one of them? Is it possible that you could do less to make more and afford your basic necessities and have more time to do what you wish? I think it is. If you want a full series on this sort of content, I will happily make it and show you some of the things that I've learned along the road. I am of course still learning, but if you want to join us on this journey, don't forget to like the video and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you again soon.